So if this is your function, how many solutions are we looking for? 5, right? Because 3, 5. So we need to get 5 of these. 4, 5. We can get some of them by graphing. Sometimes you can get all of them by graphing. So if we're going to graph this in our graphing calculator, get out your graphing calculator. I just took it off, so it should be charged.
Understanding.
What's our percent?
Yippee.
Just put it in that y equals.
Uh-huh.
Russia has several missiles go into another country's airspace. They're gonna start World War III.
This girl I almost missed this class, and I'm like, I can't do it, or I'll literally cry when I have to do it by myself.
Sorry, math is the hardest one to not be present for class. I think, at least.
I actually really like the homework history. I didn't think history.
What?
It's kind of satisfying. Because the answers.
Yes.
I got so
You mean like-
I need your help with
You are a
Okay.
conundrum, okay?
that.
You are. You are the definition of an oxymoron.
You were
What did
ready
you
to
get for
fight
your
with that
solutions
homework
when
last
you
night. Don't
graphed
even
it?
lie.
That was the
-2 and 1.
-2 and 1. Is anything happening? Are any of those bouncing off the x-axis?
Yes.
-2.
-2. So that means we at least have 2 of these. -2, -2,
1.
and 1.
And 2 imaginary.
And then these 2 are probably imaginary, so we are going to use synthetic division to work this down to like an x squared, something we can solve, okay?
That's bomb.
So we're going to start with using synthetic division and dividing by that -2. Don't forget placeholders. We're missing just one term. So we got 1, 3, wait, oh, yeah, that's right. 9, 23. We don't have an x term right there. So
0.
0. And then -36. Bring down the 1. Y'all should be getting pretty good at this by now, right?
Good is a relative term.
What's 23 minus 4?
9? Oh yeah, that's gonna be right. You should get 0 at the end. If you did it correctly, because we already know that that is a solution, so it should work. Now remember, I don't know if you remember what I was doing was I was kind of putting a little note to myself that this was x to the 5th, so that means this is x to the 4th, just so I can keep straight where I'm at. So we divided one -2, now we can divide the next -2. This is just breaking down our polynomial, just like you would a number, like I'm gonna divide 10, or let's do something bigger. I'm gonna divide 24 by 2, and I get 2 times 12. Then I'm gonna divide 12 by 2, and then I get 2 times 6. So just like you'd break apart a number in factoring, that's what we're doing to this polynomial. So really what we divided by here was not -2, we divided by x plus 2. Does that track with everybody?
Uh-huh.
So we divided this actually by x plus 2 when we did this. Now we're gonna divide it by that again.
I did it.
Did you do this one?
Uh-huh.
What'd you get?
1, -1, 9, -9, 0.
Yay! So if this one was x to the 4th, this one will be x to the 3rd. And then we do one more time because we got one more number. We're gonna divide by 1. And then 1.
1 0 9 0.
Wait, what?
1 0 9 0.
Yeah, that's right. Good. So this is the last one. So if this was x to the 3rd, that means this would be x squared. That's 0x, so we don't really need that, and then plus 9. So if you wanted to write this whole thing in the factored form, everything we factored out, it would actually be x plus 2, x plus 2, x minus 1, and then the last bit is this right here, the x squared plus 9.
And then make it equal to 0.
Yes. And we've already got these 3 solutions, so we don't really need to mess with those. We've got those. So we just have to solve this last little piece, x squared plus 9 equals 0.
Minus.
Oh, you don't want to separate that, you need to factor that?
Right, because this is a plus sign. You can only factor this one if it's minus. So since it's positive, you have to just solve it just by like, we subtract that,
3i.
and then you get, I don't know if I'm gonna see this.
Square root, right?
X squared equals -9. Yes, and then what's the square root of -9?
3i.
Yes, 3i, positive and negative, 3i. So every complex number will have, or every imaginary solution will have a conjugate pair. So what the conjugate is, these are conjugates of each other. If you have a plus something, you also have a minus. Those are called conjugates. So every time you have an imaginary solution,
It's
it will
gonna be
always
negative.
have, you'll always have a positive one and a negative one. And then there's your solution. So for some of the ones on the homework, you'll be able to just graph it and get all the solutions, the first couple, okay? Then the next couple, you'll have to do some work like this. Some of them have to be simplified, like if you had the square root of -12, do you remember how to simplify that? The square root.
Did you break into like
Would it be
four,
plus
Yeah,
6 and 2 or 4 and 3 or something
Yeah,
like
6 and 2 wouldn't help us because it doesn't have a square root. So pick one. So 4 has a square
3
root.
and 4.
Yeah, so we take this out, and that's the I, right? And then we do square root of 4 times square root of 3.
We just leave it like that.
Well, one of these can be simplified
2
too.
and 4.
4, right?
So square root 2.
Or no, don't do that. Yes, a lot of people make that. I see that mistake
I did
all
that
the
a lot.
time. Remember, when you take the square root of 4, it's just 2. So then you could just write 2i square root 3. You might have some that you have to simplify like that if they don't work out nicely, like,
hate that.
you know, that.
Very much.
Wait, how do you do the eyes on the calculator?
Wait, why
again? I don't
couldn't you-
remember.
I don't know,
Oh,
because I don't teach anyone how to do that. It's not part of what we're trying to learn how to do.
I know, I was just, sorry, just curious.
I'm just big brain. It's okay.
Okay, good with this? Okay, I'm gonna
One,
move on.
one second, I'm just getting the
I
bit
can't
on
see
the bottom.
behind the 30.
Oh, behind this?
No, just behind the 3.
Where did
and-
Jack Bob
Sorry,
go?
sorry.
Back here, I'm
Do you
studying.
need to come sit over on the
Where?
floor?
I mean, if it helps me take notes, then yes.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go. You need like a beanbag.
We
oh,
do.
that would be so.
Well, yeah.
Then there would be a fight
70,
every day
whatever,
over who gets
or
the
100,
beanbag.
whatever it is. Lots of 100, yeah.
Have like a raffle system for every day who gets this.
Are we not supposed to
I got
have?
my chair.
I know it's just this room. We're supposed to have someone watch us or something. Why isn't there?
History.
We haven't had that in
When did
here.
we get the negative? Well,
He only does one.
This was just me. This is totally
Mhm.
involved with everything else.
Oh.
I just said, if you have a square root like this that
Uh-huh.
doesn't have like a perfect square root, you have to simplify it like that. You
Okay.
get
One second here, let me
That's
get
not
that.
connected to any of this.
Let me, what I, okay. The thing you erased first, I was trying to,
Sorry. Gotta write faster. Abbreviate.
you're tall, you were standing in the way. I couldn't see. Also, you're kind of.
Standing in the way the entire time?
No, I was finishing writing down the last part of it.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Alright. Now we're gonna go the opposite direction, okay?
Why?
I don't have time to do 2 of these. Alright. I've been giving you a polynomial, asking you to break it apart to find the solutions.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go the opposite direction. I'm gonna give you the solutions and ask you to write the polynomial.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
not
Is that what we did yesterday?
so bad.
That's not terrible.
At the end.
Just D
No.
synthesize it, whatever.
Gonna give you 2 examples of this. First one's gonna be easy. The second one's gonna be a little more challenging. There's only usually ever one of those kind like on the test, so. So you have to.
That means you will miss it.
Okay. If your solutions are
Is this gonna be really long? Do I need to go to another page or can I stay on one?
Yes, another.
Look at it.
it's gonna take at least 5 5, 6 lines or something.
Okay, I know you said pages, and I was like,
No.
Jack's like, I don't need to study anymore. You keep it.
If these were your solutions,
Yeah.
what came right before you got this? What would the binomial be right before you
Would it
got
be like a
this?
square, like,
Square. Is it x minus 1 or
Yeah, there, yeah. Y'all were making it too hard. Good, Kaylee. So right before you got this answer, it was, you had an x minus 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be that, oh wait, let me give you f of x equals, because we're writing the polynomial. So that was x minus 1. This was
x minus 2,
x minus 2, x plus 4. And then from here, we just multiply together to get back to the polynomial, because we broke it apart before, now we're gonna multiply it together. So you can just start with the first 2, if you wanna do that, or you can start with the second 2, just take 2 of them and multiply them together, using whichever method you like.
Table method.
I go for the table method.
Cubic
No,
analysis.
table's the
I love
hardest
these
stuff.
taking
It works though. I don't know.
Go ahead and
Don't know how or why.
whatever
it
you
works.
get
It
from this
works.
one, simplify it first, combine your like terms before you multiply it by this one, that'll
Wait.
make it.
Don't give us the answer yet.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
She said don't, and I've been watching so much Shrek, I just like, don't let me go.
Wait, are you working in reverse now?
Yes.
Yes, Jack, that's.
Just what it
I've
Wait,
been,
is
I've
it
been doing other
-3x?
stuff, so.
Am I? Yes. Okay.
I don't know if that's a better explanation. Oh, I've just been working on other stuff while you're talking and not paying attention.
We just got onto the highway,
I have a big test.
and then
in
you
a
throw it
little bit.
reverse.
And then whatever method you like to multiply this, you could use the table again, you could use the distributive property, you can try and do it all in your head. If you were to write it all out, this is what technically you'd be doing in your head, right? This term times everything. This term times everything.
Okay, I think I got it.
This term
Or just use a table.
times everything.
Can I give you the answer?
Yeah, hold on, let me write this part out. Okay, what'd you get?
Are you gonna be back there for a while?
X to the
Lots of
Um,
practice.
I
x to
need
the
to be
third
able to
plus
see
4
that.
squared
I
minus
just
1x
momentarily.
minus 1.
I didn't
You
get
can just
that.
record
I
them,
guess
or
I
write them
I
down.
cannot see. There's
But
3
I
heads
could
in
be
there.
wrong, I made a
No,
lot of
no.
mistakes.
Recording.
plus 8.
I can airdrop you the
Did you
recording.
get this?
Okay, Kate.
As soon as it's over.
So
Or
then
just
you
hit it
go
as
to
you
zero.
get.
Maybe you
Okay,
just
dude,
missed
well-
an X at one place, because sometimes that can mess up your whole thing.
I'm sorry, okay?
I got the
I don't do this
Yeah.
often. I need to get all this stuff done.
-3.
Oh, this should be negative 3x.
That and I used
That's what
to
messed you up.
Oh.
Sorry.
So your math was right, you just
I
wrote
was
down the
like-
problem wrong. And then this is your final polynomial.
How'd you get the 3x up there?
Yes, yes.
Right here, I combined the negative 2x and the negative x.
Grandma, we were on,
Challenging one.
Okay.
we were on the highway to understanding, and you literally threw it in reverse, and now.
It's all connected though,
No
right?
way, I
We've
was
been going
thinking the
from
same
here
thing.
to
It's like
here
if you
to
don't
here.
understand the first part, you're just gonna fail the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't erase, don't erase, don't erase.
Please?
I'm writing this as fast as I can, y'all, okay?
I can't split, I was gonna try and split the board.
It's not like there's a
Well, maybe I
recording
can if
or
I move
anything.
these.
Okay, Cade,
I know. Like my other ones. I have like a little laminator somewhere. I don't know what I did. Somewhere around here.
This is my sanity,
Okay,
and that's my comedy.
now, it's gonna get a little more tricky. I'm gonna write out these instructions the way that you'll see them in the book, okay, so that you understand what it says. So this is how they'll word it, so write.
No.
Polynomial polynomial
Thanks, Jake.
function
He's sitting up here with
f.
So you can see.
Just throw his stuff as far as you can see.
Who's Brown? And he just does.
The
There's
desk.
gotta be one more.
That one with the
This one?
backpack in the chair, nobody's sitting there,
Yeah.
it's just there.
Whose stuff is it?
Just chunk it.
If you don't know whose it is, then you throw it as
Oh,
far as you
that
can.
that's probably my son's stuff. I'm sorry, just throw it on the floor.
That's my son's, just throw it in the corner.
Throw it. Oh,
I just realized that there's
I didn't
probably a
use my
time
hand.
on
I
that
just throw it.
those videos that I've cried in this class. So that's embarrassing.
You should make like a reel of just all of Kinley's meltdowns.
Just like highlights and moments from this year.
Like a little caption, Kinley in the corner crying.
Longest video ever.
I don't think I've told you recently, but I really hate this class.
Aw.
I know.
Oh, we've got word problems with this? Uh-huh, wonderful.
Never mind.
Efficient of one.
It's so cold.
So technically nothing.
You know,
Yeah.
jackets are made to go
Bruh.
on when you're
Sure.
cold.
Two and 3 plus I. All this mumbo jumbo up here
Don't matter.
That's-
means
that's exactly what
like
this
don't
is.
overcomplicate the problem. Don't make this like x times da 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 2x like don't add anything to it because you can still get these solutions with
minute.
like
Leading coefficient of 1, x equals 1.
What?
This leading
no
coefficient.
leading coefficient of 1 means that the number in front of this is 1. So this is how they're going to word it because they just don't want you to add anything extra and they had to put all of it because there are ways that these could be solutions or we could make it much more complicated. This is just saying I want the simplest version where these could be solutions, okay? When you have an I, an imaginary number, or if you have an irrational number like a square root, okay? An I or a square root will always have a conjugate pair. They always come in conjugate pairs. So if I say you have this as a solution, you have to assume that you also have that as a solution. So it may only give you this, and I think that's what the curriculum is trying to teach you, is that if this is a solution, you have to have this one too. And it's because of, like, well, kind of because of this law. These are conjugates of each other. A plus B, A minus B. The conjugate is always same numbers, different sign in the middle, okay? That could also look like 2i and negative 2i. You could have no number in the front. Same thing with square roots. If you have 1 plus the square root of 5, you should also have 1 minus the square root of 5. So imaginary numbers always come, or imaginary solutions always come in pairs.
There's
Okay?
a positive and a negative every time.
Yes.
Okay.
So you may only be given those. You have
But you have to know.
to add that one.
Quick
Yes.
question. Can I give a question?
Yeah.
I
Oh.
wanted to know.
Yes. Oh, look at
David, you know who's Charlie Sheen
Put it
is?
down like that, and then you just.
you were so close.
No,
You were
you
so
better
close
say
to have.
food.
You're so close. But you're on the
You
right
ever watched
track.
2.5 Men?
All right.
No.
So
What?
the way how would we write the binomial for this one?
Minus 2. X minus 2.
Then this one,
3 minus I.
what do you have?
X minus 3 plus I.
Yes. X minus, I'm going to put parentheses inside of parentheses, so I'm going to use a bracket. X minus 3 plus I. Okay? Because this whole thing is the number, right? That whole thing is the imaginary number.
X plus.
This one, actually the 3 out front is positive, so this would be minus again. X minus 3 minus I. This will always be set up like this. You will be subtracting both of the things, both times.
So
Okay?
can we combine both of the brackets to leave X minus 2 for last?
Yes, that's exactly what we should do.
That's crazy.
It will be much easier for us to work on, we're gonna work on this first, because actually we can do something kind of cool with this that makes it simpler, and we're gonna multiply by this last, okay? So just know that this guy's over here hanging out, we're gonna work on this. All right, first thing we're gonna do is to distribute the negative sign outside of parentheses.
Oh,
Okay. So we're just gonna distribute this to both things in here, and go ahead and
This
distribute that. Okay? When we do that, we
You
get
hand this back to
x
him. It beeped.
minus 3 minus
No, it
I, and then x minus 3 plus I. Okay?
And then you just multiply those two together?
I
Yes,
think you
but we
got
can
text
actually make it simpler than it looks. Okay, this would take a long time. This is like a 3 by 3 times 3.
The ice box?
There is stuff that cancels out in this. So this would be a 3 by 3. You could multiply all of this together if you wanted to. Jake, you can make a table. You can do whatever you want to do here. Or you can use this pattern, okay, what we know of this pattern, to simplify it for you. So if I was to just put parentheses right here, it doesn't change anything. If I put parentheses around this, okay, like that. I have x minus 3 minus I, x minus 3 plus I. Okay? We have the same thing, plus and minus, the same thing, right? So this technically is like A minus B, and this is your A plus B. So it really follows this pattern, and we know that when you multiply A plus B times A minus B, you always get A squared minus B squared. A lot of things are going to cancel out. So instead of going through all the pain of multiplying this, we can just go straight to the formula. I can just go straight in and write, okay, I know that this is exactly that formula.
So it'd be 9.
So it'd be A squared, so x
Squared.
minus 3 squared. Minus
I squared.
I squared.
Which is
And again, you're not wrong if you go in and you multiply all that together. If you just want to multiply the 3 by 3 and do that, you can do that too. But this is a little quicker.
Do we take I squared first, or do we do?
Sure. Yeah.
So it would be like -1, or I guess +1.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? Do you know why this? She said this would be -1. But then because of the minus sign, what happens? +1. So I squared equals this. If you can do this in your head, that's great. If not, write it off to the side. X minus 3 times x minus 3. Okay. The trick for this one is you square the first one. You multiply x times -3. What's that?
Positive 9.
Oh.
Wait.
And then
That's the last
Minus
term.
3.
-3.
-3 x, you double it. -6x. -6x, and then you square the last one. Plus 3. Plus 3.
Oh, double it.
If you can, like I said, that little trick, that little pattern for this, it's okay. I would just write, you could write it out here and do FOIL and get that. And then we said this last thing will be +1 because I squared is -1.
And do you do the grouping method thing?
We're still multiplying. So this
Okay.
becomes x squared minus 6x plus 10 times
So,
x minus
Hold
2.
on, how'd you get that? Hold on.
This?
Yeah.
I just added the 9 and the 1 together.
Okay.
She's like, wait. How did you get that?
Have you gotten 4 lines, David?
What?
I've gotten a lot more than 4.
Sorry. Well, I didn't say that one would be short.
I
That,
think it's gonna be 4 lines. Proceeds to use
that one's
two
a lot
white words
longer.
for
I
lines.
could have
That's
told
what
you
she
that.
said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7.
now we
the
have.
last one took 8.
Oh, 8? Oh,
The
shoot.
one you said was gonna take 5.
Sorry.
No. She said 4.
I did actually write out an extra step that I normally do in my head, though. So.
So bonus.
It's like an excuse to
All right. So now we're down to this.
See it again.
And you just multiply all this together. So Sorry. Just erase.
Oh wait, did we just transfer all of these numbers?
you erase our
homework? Looks like normal homework. Sounds good to me. Oh balls. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing the fun
Why'd
stuff.
you just put X
It's just in the front.
Wait a second.
One sec, Jack.
Because it's just divided over two.
Because we're doing this times all of this and this times all. You can do a table, Jay.
still from what we
It's the same thing as taking X squared
No,
times X minus 2.
I'm doing
I can do that though.
I'm just gonna let you right now because I
Oh,
didn't take
good grief. I'm tired of doing this problem.
Ow.
You just started
it.
it.
I got the answer.
It's the rest of this one.
Oh, it's still going?
Bro,
You've
these-
gotta be
what,
kidding me.
Bro, I missed a lot.
Oh no, bro.
Yeah, Jack, you're screwed.
Jack, did you see what Jay did though?
Huh?
Did you see what Jay did?
No.
It wasn't a pass.
Yes.
Someone else do this. Make sure I'm not making mistakes.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you
You're
Correct.
correct.
But he was
You're
going
welcome.
out of bounds.
That's what I
We're
got.
standing this
Yeah.
close together. He's going out of bounds. Hold up. I'm not.
Oh,
He
yeah,
goes,
You
I'll get it right here with my binky.
That, I would never be
It
able to do
was
that
a
by
good
myself.
catch, but it hurts very bad.
This is the trickiest step, and if you want to write down what to do here, you distribute
One of these is
the
on the
negative,
homework.
then you put parentheses around this half,
Is that the bonus?
then you go to the a
You better be, 'cause
squared
I'm not
minus
doing it.
b squared. Okay?
This isn't homework, it's
Where'd
Brandon.
the I come from?
Huh?
I think it's number 24.
Yeah, there's like maybe
Welcome
like
back,
one or
Jack.
two
Yeah,
of
I
these,
know, right?
Yeah.
the hard ones. So I think I gave you 3 where you
I got this for
Can
you.
work on my
Thank you.
You're
I need
welcome. Kobe.
I gave you
I was well watered.
Well,
Our
3
basketball
of these,
season. I thought it was
and
hilarious how I filmed it.
one of them has
That
a
was
square
technically
root,
pale
and
for
one of
6
them
years.
has an I, and then one of them is just the easy one. that I did
Yay.
first. Okay.
Yippee, we got the streak
So there's just
Hooray. See, that's all I want.
Do
I don't
you
think that
wanna
counts,
just get to
but
work on the rest of the homework?
Yeah.
if,
Yeah.
not, if it means not having to listen to this,
Bro.
then yes.
Maybe study for it.
There's a lot of words.
I feel very good about this.
I